I promised Theo to make a little speech. He would like to have made it himself.
Very much.
Theo knows only 2 English expressions. Very much and not very much. Stimmt's, Theo?
Very much.
He would like to have come before.
Very much.
Only he was afraid nobody could translate to you what he says.
Miss Hunter speaks German. She sprechen German.
Was wirklich, gnädiges Fräulein, Sie reden Deutsch?
Oh, nicht sehr gut.
Oh, ich finde, Sie reden ausgezeichnet.
Theo has heard that you took part in the South Africa campaign.
Yeah.
And that you have won a very famous medal.
Yeah, Victoria...
Victoria Cross.
Yeah, of course.
He envies you because a German officer knows about war only from the newspapers. And mostly wrongly. And mostly wrongly.
Let's have a drink, shall we? Sherry?
I would love a glass of sherry.
Would you like sherry?
Not very much.
Port? What the blazes is up with everybody today?
Clive, you and I, friends, yes or no?
Well, of course we're friends.
We must duel again.
Where's your dictionary, old man? You must have got 2 pages stuck together.
I love your... Ich habe das Wort vergessen. Your Miss Hunter.
Say that again.
I love your Miss Hunter.
You're cuckoo.
Oh, nein, nein, cuckoo. You cuckoo, because Miss Hunter loves me.
Congratulations. When did it happen? Why don't I know about it?
No duel?
Duel? Ich fight anyone who tried to stop it. Now will you have a drink? Double drink! You know, old boy, Edith was never my fiancée.
Ah, fiancée, das ist das Wort, das ich nicht finden konnte.
No, not my fiancée. Lovely girl, sweet girl, but not my fiancée. Next.
Bottom up. Bring in the prisoners and tell the orderly to light the lamp.
Any officer with them?
I can't. Not so lucky.
Where'd you nab them?
Floating down the river early this morning. I had a boom across and netted them like salmon.
They had 100 pounds of dynamite with them. My guess is they were after the new pontoon bridge below Saint-Mangy.
How the devil did they get to know about that?
They took one of our patrols prisoner day before yesterday.
Are you suggesting that our fellows talked?
The Germans know how to make them talk.
Oh. Well, if they are, they're cracking, my dear chap. It's a sure sign. Nobody starts to fight foul till he sees he can't win any other way. I quite believe Hindenburg, who I heard said the other day that until now, Germany has used her arms with honor. I admit he said nothing about her legs.
That's that.
What's what?
A German delegation is on its way to see General Foch. They're going to sue for an armistice.
Yippee! Nonsense. German propaganda, old trick to put us off our guard. What about my train?
There's not a train or a track or a locomotive to pull one, sir.
In this war, I've seen ammunition dumps without ammunition, field kitchens with no cooks, motor cars with no petrol to run them on. So I suppose I shouldn't be surprised to find a railway transport officer without trains. But let me tell you this, young man, that in the Boer War or in Somaliland, this sort of inefficiency wouldn't have been tolerated for a second. Not for a second.
Why is very much printed like that?
It was a joke we had.
Where was the oberst?
Listening to the band, sir.
All right, Higgins.
I was thinking how odd they are. Queer. For years and years, they're writing and dreaming beautiful music and beautiful poetry. All of a sudden, they start a war. They sink undefended ships.
shoot innocent hostages and bomb and destroy whole streets in London, killing little children. And then they sit down in the same butcher's uniform and listen to Mendelssohn and Schubert. Something horrid about that. Don't you think so, Clive?
We want to trade with Germany, said one. The general said, we don't want to keep an army just to occupy your country. A general. Oh, they are children. Boys playing cricket. They win the shirts off our backs and now they want to give them back. Because the game is over. War is the most unpopular thing in England. They're already organizing pacifist societies. Their newspapers are anti-military. Wait a moment. Here we can get to something anti-military. This childlike stupidity is a raft for us in a sea of despair. Do you know what my friend the General Candy said? Don't you worry, old chap. We soon have German on their feet again.
The landscape seemed so familiar to me. And slowly I recognized the road, the lake, and a nursing home where I spent some weeks recovering. Almost 40 years ago. I stopped the car and sat still, remembering. And you see, in this very nursing home, sir, I met my wife for the first time. And I met an Englishman who became my greatest friend. And I remembered the people at the station in 19, when we prisoners were sent home, cheering us, treating us like friends. The faces of a party of distinguished men round a table who tried their utmost to comfort me when the defeat of my country seemed to me unbearable. And very foolishly, I remembered the English countryside, the gardens, the green lawns, the weedy rivers and the trees she loved so much. And a great desire came over me to come back to my wife's country.
You tell me.
It is a different knowledge they need now, Clive. The enemy is different, so you have to be different too.
Are you mad? I know what war is.
I don't agree. I read your broadcast up to the point where you described the collapse of France. You commented on Nazi methods, foul fighting, bombing refugees, machine gunning hospitals, lifeboat, lightships, bailed out pilots, and so on, by saying that you despised them, that you would be ashamed to fight on their side, and that you'd sooner accept defeat than victory if it could only be won by those methods.
So I would.
Clive, if you let yourself be defeated by them just because you are too fair to hit back the same way they hit at you, there won't be any methods but Nazi methods. If you preach the rules of the game while they use every foul and filthy trick against you, they laugh at you. They think you're weak, decadent. I thought so myself in 1919.
I heard all that in the last war. They fought foul then, and who won it?
I don't think you won it. We lost it, but you lost something too. You forgot to learn the moral. Because victory was yours, you failed to learn your lesson 20 years ago. And now you have to pay the school fees again. Some of you will learn quicker than the others. Some will never learn it, because you've been educated to be a gentleman and a sportsman in peace and in war. But Clive, dear old Clive, this is not a gentleman's war. This time you are fighting for your very existence against the most devilish idea ever created by a human brain, Nazism. And if you lose,
There won't be a return match next year. Perhaps not even for 100 years.